Hey kids, I'm Sarah. We have been learning that we are God's loved kids. And because we are God's loved kids, we are extraordinary. See, extraordinary just means special or different. And because we are extraordinary, we get to live an extraordinary life. That just means that we live different from the world around us because we know we are part of God's family. So what does it mean to live an extraordinary life? Well, our friend secret agent, Brett McPherson, is going to help us learn about that today. And Brett?
I am?
Yes, it seems like you've already started your investigation.
That's true.
So?
HQ, I've made contact. All right, Miss Sarah, I've started a investigation with this whole thing because, as you all know, I'm Brett McPherson. I'm CIA FBI secret agent detective Brett McPherson. And I'm investigating stories and cases that are extraordinary. And I'm gonna get down to the bottom of it because I'm awesome. So with this investigation, Miss Sarah, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this whole extraordinary thing.
Yes. See, kids, a lot of people and stories in the Bible show us what it means to live an extraordinary life. So here's what we're gonna do. I am going to read us a Bible story, and Mr. Brett McPherson over here is going to help us investigate what about the Bible story is extraordinary.
That's right. Nothing's gonna slip past me.
Great. Well, before we read our Bible story, let's all shout out some truths about the Bible, God's Word.
The Bible is God's Word. It is more than just a book. It is powerful. It is my light. It is my guide. It is the ultimate truth. It is God speaking to me. It is the forever story of God's love for me.
Okay, let's get started. Once upon a time, there were three guys named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego who worked for King Nebuchadnezzar. The king had just built a giant statue of himself made of gold. So he gathered up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and all the other people who worked for him and told them that every single time they heard trumpets, everyone had to stop what they were doing, bow down, and worship the giant statue. King Nebuchadnezzar also said that anyone who didn't do that would be thrown into a fiery furnace.
Wait a second. All right, first off, we got King Sever the Weather. You can tell that he's the king by the little hat, little fancy hat he's wearing. And he's so mad at these guys. Suspect 1, 2, and 3. And we also have Spearman. But this story is not about him. It's about these guys. Now here we have the idol. And he said, worship this thing. And he's pointing down. He's saying, listen, you better bow down or I'll throw you in the furnace. Let's see what happens. Man, this king never can catch her guy sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't want to worship the statue, even though everyone else was. Worship is when we make something number one in our heart. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego loved God and knew that He was the most important thing in their life and that they should only worship Him. So when the trumpet sounded and everyone else around them bowed down and worshiped the statue, they didn't.
Wait a second. So here's the statue. It's huge. It's important. We got all these guys bowing over here. See, this one bowing, this one bowing, this one bowing. All of them are bowing, except suspect 1, 2, and 3. See, the proper form to bow would be to go in a downward motion like this, such as these people. But once again, this story is not about these people. No. It's about these guys worshiping this or not worshiping this. What is this? I don't know. What does this mean? What does that mean? And what is this? All mysteries. I just don't understand why they're not bowing down, because, you know, that king never bedwetter is gonna be all mad and stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego weren't worshiping the statue. People noticed, and they told King Nebuchadnezzar, and he was so angry. He told Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that if they didn't worship his statue, he would throw them into the fiery furnace. But guess what? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego still said no.
Let's review. Suspect 1, Radshak. 2, She-Smack. 3, a Wendigo, Spearman. It's not about him. They're not bowing down even though the king told them to this statue. What's so special about this statue? What is it? Superhero? I don't think so. Let's continue. Man, Miss Sarah, this King Better Than Cheddar is a crazy guy, threatening to throw people inside of a furnace. Come on, he's not really gonna do it, is he?
Well, let's see. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego weren't afraid of the king or the fire because they knew that God was with them and that God would protect them. But they told King Nebuchadnezzar, even if God doesn't save us from the fire, we still don't want to worship your statue. God is number one in our hearts. The king was furious. He told the guards to heat up the furnace really hot, 7 times hotter than normal.
Man, those 3 guys better think of something quick. Otherwise, that Nestor Confessor guy is gonna be real upset.
Well, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't bow down, so they were tied up and thrown into the fire. But when King Nebuchadnezzar looked into the flames, he saw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego all walking around, not hurt at all. And that wasn't it. The king also saw a 4th person walking around in the fire.
Whoa, hang on. I think we might have found something a little bit extraordinary. Look at this. 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, normal, but a 4th man. And he only threw 3 in there. Look at how shocked he is. This is the face of a shocked person. And he's looking there at the 4th man. Who is this mystery man? HQ, I'm gonna need you to run a check on our mystery man in the furnace. 4 people in the fire when King Heather Red Sweater threw in only 3. That doesn't add up.
Well, Brett, the 4th man was God, protecting Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The king told them to come out of the fire. When they walked out, they weren't even burnt at all. They didn't even smell like smoke. King Nebuchadnezzar was amazed by what God had done and how he had protected Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And he was amazed at how they had trusted God to protect them too. The king changed his mind right there and said no one could ever say anything bad about God. The end.
All right, so the 4th guy in the fire, God, codename Jesus Christ. There he is. Now what makes this story extraordinary is you've got Radshak, She-Smack, and a Wendigo. And they decided to live set-apart lives, extraordinary lives, by not bowing down like everyone else did. And because of that, they get to have a dance party in the fire with Jesus. Crazy. And look at this. That old king is left out. So sad. Doesn't get to go to the dance party in the fire with Jesus. I'd be sad too. Look how happy everyone is. Turn that frown upside down. Looks like this case is closed. Wow, Miss Sarah, I must say, this was quite a fascinating tale.
Well, thanks so much, Brett, for helping us investigate. Do you think you could come back next week and investigate another extraordinary Bible story with us?
Wait a minute, there's more? Of course I can. Man, this whole extraordinary thing just keeps getting deeper and deeper. It's crazy. Go ahead, HQ. I'll be right there. Well, Miss Sarah, looks like our new Operation Righty Shack Go has become underway. We're trying to figure out how to make some fireproof suits.
Oh, interesting. How's that going?
Not well. So I'll see you later. Excuse me.
Okay, well, bye, Brett. We'll see you next time.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, kids. Well, today we learned that because we are God's loved kids, we get to live an extraordinary life. And that just means that just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did in the story, we put God above everything else in our life. God is number one in our hearts, even if everyone else around us doesn't. Okay, well, that's all we have for today. We'll see you next time. Bye.